Picture narrow cobblestone streets that became crowded with fear. Israeli police say more than 70,000 people turned out for Sunday's Jerusalem Day flag march. It drew protests from Palestinians, tensions boiled, clashes erupted, and scores of Palestinians were injured. CNN's Atika Shubert brings us the story from Jerusalem.
Jerusalem Day is a day that shows just how bitterly contested the city is. For Israelis, particularly Jewish nationalists, it has become a day to mark Israel's capturing of all the city, including East Jerusalem, in the 1967 war, and the holiest site in Judaism, the Western Wall. Thousands upon thousands converge on Jerusalem's Old City, marching through with Israeli flags. Some chant, "Death to Arabs." This is one extreme among the marchers. Others here say the day should be a celebration, not a provocation.
Most of the people want to live in peace, and as you can see, we live in peace. I didn't come to provoke someone. You understand, I didn't come for it. I'm not making problem. I'm not shouting, die to the Arabs. You saw the guy that wanted the Arabs to be dead. I told him not, because I don't want them to be dead. I want them to be my neighbors. But I don't want them to kill me at the same time.
But for Palestinians, this is a day of provocation when the Israeli flag march goes through one of the most disputed areas of East Jerusalem, and it's almost inevitable that tensions will boil over. Thousands of police are deployed, but scuffles still break out in the narrow cobblestone streets. Police fire pepper spray and swing batons. Palestinian residents say they feel angry, frustrated, and exhausted.
We cannot live, no peace at home, no peace in the shop, no peace in the street, no peace anywhere. Now a settler could come hit me, he will go and arrest me. Where is justice?
In a sea of flags, there is one that cannot be flown. The Palestinian flag. Israeli police quickly tackled the elderly man who dared to unfurl it. If the March of Flags went ahead, Hamas warned, it would fire rockets from Gaza. Watch the skies, the militant group warned. What came instead was a small gesture of defiance instead of rockets, keeping Jerusalem's uneasy peace for another day. Atika Shubert for CNN in Jerusalem.
Well, for the aftermath, we're live in Jerusalem with CNN's Hadass Gold. And I note the headline in the Times of Israel today: through Jerusalem's Muslim quarter, a triumphalist march by Orthodox nationalist men. And it goes on to suggest that for some, this decades-old anniversary or celebration, Jerusalem Day, has morphed into something darker. Your perspective from there?
Yeah, Becky, I mean, we're getting updated numbers that some 70,000 people participated in that march. And you're right that what is many Israelis see as something to celebrate when Israel gained control of East Jerusalem, and Israelis see this as when Jerusalem became a united capital. For many Palestinians, they see it as a provocation because they want East Jerusalem to be the capital of a future Palestinian state. And they and much of the international community consider East Jerusalem to be occupied territory. But Becky, if you go to these marches, you do not see the kind of average secular Israeli. Who you mostly see are what many people consider right-wing Zionists or settlers even, who come in from the West Bank or come in from other parts of Israel. You do not see either ultra-Orthodox people, nor do you see secular Israelis. And that's what a lot of Israeli commentators are talking about, that this march has morphed into this sort of magnet for the right-wing extremist groups. I want to read to you some of the reactions from Israeli politicians. The Prime Minister said that what happened yesterday, those events were from a minority that had come to set the area ablaze. Yair Lapid, the foreign minister, has sent out several tweets and statements. I'll read you one of them. He talked about how Sorry, I don't have the tweet in front of me, but he also condemned the action and said things that these groups, some of these right-wing groups like Lehava and La Familia, he said that they do not deserve to carry the Israeli flag. Now, Lehava and La Familia are these two extremist right-wing organizations, and they're sometimes identified in these marches with their black flags. One of them, La Familia, actually uses the flag from the Jerusalem Beitar football club. There are now growing calls to outlaw these two groups. I want to play for you what the defense minister said just earlier today.
As defense minister, I also think the time has come to re-examine the designation of organizations like La Familia and Lehava as terror organizations. I know this issue is on the doorstep of the various security organizations, and I rely on them to carry out the examination in the cleanest and best way.
Now, labeling those organizations as terror organizations would outlaw them, which would mean it would be illegal to fly those flags and to be part of those organizations. Now, whether these calls for outlawing these organizations, for labeling them as terrorists, will actually come to action, that will be the big question next year. Becky.
Had us gold on the story. Thank you.